In the silent expanse of space, a weak signal traveled across the stars. The small research team on Proxima Centauri's second moon picked it up during their routine scans. The pattern wasn't random. It showed clear signs of intelligence. Dr. Ju Park stared at the data scrolling across his screen. His heart beat faster as he realized what he was seeing. After 15 years as the outpost's top language expert, he finally had proof of alien life. "This is it," he whispered to himself. His fingers flew across the keyboard, running analysis after analysis to be certain. This is really it. The signal contained simple math patterns and location coordinates, but the urgency in its structure was unmistakable. Dr. Park had studied theoretical alien communications for years. This was a cry for help. He called an emergency meeting with the outpost's 5 other researchers. They gathered in the small conference room, their faces showing a mix of excitement and fear. The signal originated from the Kepler 186 system, Dr. Park explained, projecting the star chart on the wall. It's about 500 light-years away. Based on the degradation, it's been traveling for at least 200 years. "You're sure it's a distress call?" asked Dr. Minji-yoon, the team's astrophysicist. "I'm certain," Dr. Park replied. "Whoever sent this is, or was, in serious danger." The team sent their findings to Earth immediately. Within hours, the United Earth Defense Council called an emergency session. The 12 representatives from Earth's major regions gathered virtually, their holograms filling the council chamber. Admiral Taho Kim stood before them, his uniform crisp despite being awake for 30 hours straight. At 62, his hair had gone completely gray, but his posture remained rigid from decades of military service. "The signal is authentic," he confirmed. "We've run every test we can. This is first contact." "What exactly does the message say?" asked Counselor Hannah Ba, representing East Asia. Admiral Kim nodded to his aide, who displayed the translated message. "Help. Danger. Enemy approaching from Galactic Center. Coordinates follow. Please assist if capable." Silence fell over the council. "It could be a trap," Admiral Kim said finally. "The Proxima scientists believe it's genuine, but we must consider all possibilities. Either way, I believe humanity has a responsibility to investigate, and, if necessary, respond." The council debated for just 40 minutes before reaching a decision, remarkably quick for a group that often argued for days about much smaller matters. "Deploy the 7th Armada," ordered Council President Dae-in Jun. "This is what we built them for." Admiral Kim bowed slightly. "I'll lead the mission personally." Within 3 hours, military bases across Earth and Mars received their orders. The massive dreadnought Retribution began powering up its engines in orbit around Jupiter. Nearly a kilometer long, the warship had never been used in actual combat. It was humanity's ultimate deterrent, a ship so powerful that its mere existence had prevented 3 potential conflicts. Captain Nari Choi received her orders while training in the Martian High Command. At 38, she was young for such a command, but her tactical brilliance had earned her the position. She had dark, intelligent eyes and kept her black hair in a short, practical cut. "Prepare the Retribution for immediate departure," Admiral Kim told her over the secure channel. "You'll have 26 support ships. We leave in 10 hours. "Destination?" she asked. "Kepler 186. Possible first contact situation." Captain Choi's expression remained neutral, but her pulse quickened. "Understood, sir. We'll be ready." Across the solar system, humanity's deadliest warships prepared for departure. The Retribution was joined by 3 heavy cruisers, 12 destroyers, 5 medical and science vessels, and 6 rapid response corvettes. On the Retribution's bridge, over 2,000 crew members worked frantically to prepare the massive ship. Deep in the engine room, Chief Engineer Jun Kim supervised the FTL drive activation. "This baby has never gone full power before," he told his team. Let's make sure we don't blow ourselves up before we even reach the aliens. The massive hangar bays were filled with fighter craft and marine dropships. Colonel Haijin Kang led her troops through final combat drills. As commander of the 103rd Marine Division, she would lead any ground forces if needed. "We don't know what we're flying into," she told her soldiers. "Be prepared for anything, from a peaceful welcome to all-out war." Back on Earth, Dr. Park packed his small bag. The council had ordered him to join the fleet as their communication expert. He stared at his small apartment one last time, wondering if he would ever see it again. His phone buzzed with a message from his younger sister. "Be safe out there. Make history, but come back." He smiled sadly and headed for the shuttle port. Aboard the Retribution *, Captain Choi reviewed the final deployment plans with Admiral Kim. The holographic display showed their planned formation, a defensive arrangement designed to protect the core ships while maintaining maximum firepower. "We'll exit FTL at the edge of the system," she explained. "Full scans before proceeding further." Admiral Kim nodded. "The journey will take 3 days with our current drive technology. Let's hope we're not too late." As the countdown to departure reached 0, Captain Choi gave the order to the fleet. "All ships, prepare for FTL jump." The massive engines of 27 ships glowed blue, then white, bending space around them. In a flash of light visible from Earth, humanity's deadliest fleet vanished into the depths of space, answering a desperate call from the stars. Behind them, humanity held its breath, waiting to learn if they were truly alone in the universe, or if they had just taken their first step into a much larger, more dangerous galaxy. The Retribution floated in space like a giant metal beast. Captain Nari Choi walked slowly around the bridge, checking each station. The ship was the pride of Earth's fleet, built after humans learned hard lessons from past wars. "Status report," Nari said, her voice calm despite the tension she felt inside. "All weapons systems green," replied Lieutenant Do-Yem Park from the tactical station. His fingers moved quickly over the control panel, running final tests on the ship's impressive arsenal. The Retribution carried enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Its main cannon could punch through almost any known shield or armor. Along its massive hull, smaller weapons waited silently. Over 300 laser banks, 40 missile tubes, and specialized gravity weapons developed after the Arcturus conflict. Commander Chunho Lee approached Nari with a data tablet. As her second-in-command, he handled most of the ship's daily operations. "Engineering reports the FTL drive is at peak efficiency," he said. "The fleet is in position and waiting for your order to jump." Nari nodded and looked out the main viewport. She could see Earth in the distance, a blue marble that had once been humanity's only home. Now humans had spread throughout the solar system, building colonies on Mars, mining operations in the asteroid belt, and research stations as far as Neptune. "This will be the farthest any human fleet has traveled," she said quietly. "Are you worried?" Chunho asked. Nari smiled slightly. "Only a fool wouldn't be. We're jumping into the unknown based on a message that might be centuries old." Around them, the bridge crew worked with quiet efficiency. The Retribution had a crew of over 2,000 people, with another 3,000 Marines on board. The ship was essentially a flying city, complete with hydroponics bays, medical facilities, and manufacturing centers. On the display screens, Nari could see the rest of the fleet moving into jump formation. The 2 other dreadnoughts, Vengeance and Sovereign took positions on either side of the Retribution. They were slightly smaller but just as deadly. The cruisers formed a protective ring around the dreadnoughts, while the faster destroyers took the outer positions. The support ships carrying additional Marines and medical facilities stayed in the center of the formation, where they would be best protected. 30 minutes to jump," announced the ship's eye. "All personnel secure stations for FTL transition." Nari sat in her command chair and pressed a button on the armrest. "This is Captain Choi to all ships. You all know why we're here. Somewhere out there, someone sent a call for help. We don't know what we'll find. Friends, enemies, or nothing at all. But we go prepared for anything." She paused, looking at the faces of her bridge crew. "This is what we trained for. This is why Earth built this fleet. Stay sharp, follow your orders, and watch out for each other. Choi out." As the message ended, Admiral Taho Kim entered the bridge. Despite his age, he moved with purpose. The crew stood straighter in his presence. "Captain," he said with a nod. "How does she feel?" "The ship is ready, sir," Nari replied. "The whole fleet is ready." Admiral Kim looked out at the stars. "I've been in the service for 40 years. I never thought I'd see this day. Humans answering a call from another civilization." "Do you think they're still alive?" Nari asked quietly. "Whoever sent the message, I hope so," Kim said. "But the message could be hundreds or even thousands of years old. We simply don't know." In the ship's lower decks, Dr. Ju Park sat in his small quarters, studying the alien signal again. As the fleet's xenolinguistics expert, he had spent every waking moment trying to learn more from the message. A knock on his door interrupted his thoughts. "Enter," he called. Colonel Haijin Kang, commander of the Marine Forces, stepped inside. Her uniform was perfectly pressed, her posture rigid. "Doctor, I need your insight," she said without preamble. "My troops need to know what to expect. Any new information from the message?" Dr. Park shook his head. "It's frustratingly basic. Just mathematical sequences, coordinates, and what seems to be a universal distress pattern. Whoever sent it wanted to be understood by anyone who might be listening." "Could it be a trap?" the colonel asked bluntly. "Anything is possible," Dr. Park admitted. "But my gut says no. The message has a desperation to it. Real fear." Throughout the ship, similar conversations were happening as the countdown continued. In the medical bay, doctors prepared equipment for possible alien physiology. In the armory, weapons specialists checked their gear. In the mess hall, off-duty crew shared meals that might be their last in familiar space. 10 minutes to jump, the AI announced. On the bridge, Neri reviewed the jump calculations one final time. The Kepler 186 system was over 500 light-years away. Without FTL technology, the journey would take centuries. With it, just 3 days. 5 minutes to jump. Commander Chunho approached her chair. "Engineering reports all systems green. We're ready." Nari nodded. "Tell them good work." 1 minute to jump. The lights on the bridge dimmed slightly as power was diverted to the massive FTL drive. The air seemed to thicken with tension. "All ships report ready for jump," Juno announced. Admiral Kim took a seat beside Nari. "Make history, Captain." 30 seconds. Nari gripped the arms of her chair. Despite having done this many times before, FTL jumps always made her stomach tighten. The human body wasn't meant to travel through folded space. 10 seconds. 9. 8. The stars visible through the viewport seemed to brighten. 3, 2, 1. Nari took a deep breath. Execute jump. The universe outside the ship stretched and twisted. The stars became lines of light, then vanished altogether. For a moment, there was nothing but darkness beyond the ship. Then reality reasserted itself in a flash of blue light as the asterisk retribution asterisk and its escort fleet tore a hole through space, heading toward a distant star and whatever waited for them there. The deadliest fleet humanity had ever built had begun its journey to answer a call from the stars. The blue flash of the exit from FTL travel faded away, and suddenly the asterisk retribution asterisk and its fleet existed in normal space again. The Kepler 186 system spread out before them, a distant star and its family of planets now clearly visible on the ship's sensors. Captain Nari Choi felt a moment of dizziness as her body adjusted to normal space. She gripped her chair's armrests and took a deep breath. "Status report," she ordered, her voice steady despite the lingering effects of the jump. All ships present and accounted for, Commander Chunho reported from his station. No damage from the transition. Begin full sensor sweep, Nari commanded. I want to know everything about this system. The bridge crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person focused on their tasks. The main view screen showed the star Kepler 186, smaller and redder than Earth's sun. Lieutenant Commander Minjae Kang spoke up from the tactical station, his voice tense. Captain, I'm detecting heavy radiation from the fourth planet, much higher than natural levels. On screen, Nari ordered. The view screen changed to show a planet that made everyone on the bridge fall silent. What should have been a world similar to Earth was instead a ruined, glowing sphere. Parts of its surface were still molten red. There were no oceans, no clouds, just a dead rock radiating heat. Life signs? Admiral Kim asked quietly. None, sir, Minja replied. The planet's atmosphere is completely gone. Surface temperature exceeds 1,000 degrees in some regions. Dr. Ju Park stepped forward, his face pale. This was the source of the distress signal. This was their homeworld. How long ago did this happen? Nari asked. The science officer consulted her readings. Based on cooling rates and radiation decay, between 2 and 4 months ago. A heavy silence fell over the bridge. They were too late to save the planet that had called for help. Captain, Minja called out suddenly. I'm detecting debris in orbit around the destroyed planet. The view screen zoomed in to show broken pieces of metal and other materials circling the dead world. Some were clearly parts of ships and stations. They fought. Admiral Kim said softly. They tried to defend their home. Before anyone could respond, Minjae's console lit up with urgent alerts. Captain, multiple contacts detected near the fifth planet. 2 different energy signatures in conflict. Show me, Nari ordered, leaning forward in her chair. The view screen shifted again, now showing a scene that made the captain's heart beat faster. A battle was happening on the far side of the system. Several small ships with smooth, curved designs were running from larger, angular vessels that looked like floating crystals. The smaller ships were firing what looked like energy weapons, but they barely damaged the crystal ships. The energy signature from the smaller vessels matches the distress call, Minja reported. The crystal ships are using weapons similar to what destroyed the fourth planet. Nari exchanged a look with Admiral Kim, who nodded once. Battle stations, Nari commanded, and the ship's alert system immediately sounded. Red lights flashed throughout the Retribution as crew members raced to their combat positions. Open a channel to all our ships, she ordered. When the communications officer nodded, she continued. This is Captain Choi of the Earth vessel Retribution *. We are deploying in defensive formation Delta. Cruisers and destroyers will move between the attackers and the fleeing ships. The Retribution * will engage the 3 largest enemy vessels directly. Marines prepare for possible boarding actions. Throughout the fleet, ships' engines flared to life as they moved into the ordered formation. The destroyers, being the fastest, shot ahead to reach the fleeing aliens first. On the bridge of the Retribution *, Colonel Haijin Kang appeared on a side screen. My Marines are ready, Captain. We can deploy within 5 minutes if needed. Stand by, Colonel, Nari replied. Let's see how they respond to our arrival first. The fleet accelerated toward the battle, weapons systems powering up. As they approached, the crystal ships suddenly stopped their pursuit. For a moment, they seemed to hover in space, as if confused by the new arrivals. They're scanning us, Minja reported. Very powerful scans, likely trying to assess our capabilities. Then, as one unified force, the crystal ships changed direction. They moved away from the ships they had been chasing and turned toward the human fleet. They're forming an attack pattern, Minja said, his voice tense but controlled. 27 crystal vessels in total. The 3 largest are taking the lead position. Nari watched the movements of the enemy ships on the tactical display. Their formation was perfect, too perfect for living pilots. Either they were controlled by highly advanced AI, or they were something else entirely. Weapons status, she asked. All weapons systems online and ready, replied the weapons officer. Main cannon charged at 100%. Point defense systems active. The crystal ships accelerated toward them, covering the distance at an alarming rate. They're fast, Admiral Kim observed. But predictable, Neri countered, studying their approach pattern. Their formation hasn't changed since they spotted us. No adaptation. The Admiral nodded in agreement. Overconfidence, perhaps, or limited tactical programming. As the distance closed, tension on the bridge increased. This would be humanity's first battle with an alien species, a moment that would be recorded in history, if any of them survived to tell about it. Enemy ships in weapons range in 30 seconds, Minji announced. Neri sat straighter in her chair, her face calm despite the danger. She had trained for this moment her entire career. All ships maintain formation, she ordered. Hold fire until my command. The crystal ships continued their approach, showing no signs of slowing or changing course. 10 seconds to weapons range. Neri's lips curved into a small, tight smile. Looks like we have their attention. The alien fleet, so confident in its superior technology, had no way of knowing it was racing toward the deadliest weapons humanity had ever created, and a commander who knew exactly how to use them. The space between the fleets lit up as the crystal ships fired first. Bright beams of energy shot toward the human vessels, vending the space they passed through. Everyone on the Retribution's bridge tensed, waiting for impact. The beams hit the ship's shields and dispersed in flashes of blue light. No damage registered on any of the monitors. Shield holding at 97%, reported the defense officer. The enemy weapons are powerful, but our adaptive shields are compensating. Neri nodded, unsurprised. Earth scientists had developed these shields after the Arcturus conflict, when similar weapons had cost thousands of lives. Those hard lessons had made human defenses much stronger. Return fire, all batteries, Neri ordered calmly. Target their engines and propulsion systems. I want some of them intact enough to capture. The weapons officer pressed several controls, and the massive ship shuddered as its main weapons discharged. The Retribution's special gravity weapons didn't fire lasers or missiles, but instead created focused distortions in space itself. These invisible forces grabbed the largest crystal ship and literally twisted it in multiple directions at once. On the main screen, everyone watched as the enemy vessel cracked along its perfect lines, breaking apart like a shattered piece of glass. The smaller pieces continued to move but lost power quickly. Direct hit on the lead vessel, the weapons officer announced, unable to keep the pride from his voice. Around the Retribution the rest of the human fleet engaged the enemy with well-practiced moves. The faster destroyers zipped between the crystal ships, firing just enough to draw attention before speeding away. This herded the confused enemies into the waiting guns of the cruisers. The enemy ships aren't coordinating their defense, Commander Chuno observed. They're fighting like individual units, not a fleet. They've never needed to before, Admiral Kim replied. Look at the debris around that dead planet. These creatures are used to overwhelming their enemies with superior technology. They don't understand tactics. A destroyer took a direct hit from one of the crystal ships, its shields flaring brightly before holding. Dauntless reports minor damage, Juno said. Shields at 60%, but they're still combat effective. Neri nodded and watched the tactical display. The human ships were moving in complex patterns while the crystal ships maintained rigid formations. It was like watching experienced dancers fight against robots. The alien vessels we rescued are regrouping behind our lines, Junho reported. They're transmitting some kind of signal to us. It's similar to the distress call, but more complex. Could be saying thank you, could be asking who we are, Nari mused. Tell Dr. Park to focus on establishing communication with them, and order the Mercy to move forward and prepare to retrieve survivors from any damaged ships, ours or theirs. The medical ship Mercy moved carefully through the battle zone, protected by 2 destroyers. Its teams prepared to recover anyone who might have survived in the broken crystal ships. On the bridge, Admiral Kim watched with satisfaction as another crystal ship broke apart under concentrated fire from 3 human destroyers. "They're not adapting," he noted. "They keep using the same attack patterns even though they're not working." "Maybe they can't adapt," Neri suggested. "Or maybe they've never needed to before. Either way, it works in our favor." 20 minutes into the battle, the tide had clearly turned. 5 crystal ships had been destroyed completely, and 7 more were damaged and drifting. The human fleet had suffered only minor damage to 3 ships, with no casualties reported. "The smaller enemy vessels are beginning to retreat," Junho announced. "They're accelerating toward the edge of the system." "Let them go," Nari ordered. "Focus fire on the remaining large vessels." The Retribution's weapons fired again, this time catching 2 medium-sized crystal ships in the same gravity field. The ships crashed into each other, breaking apart on impact. 35 minutes after the first shot, the battle was effectively over. The remaining crystal ships had turned and fled, leaving their damaged companions behind. The human fleet had won decisively. "Cease fire," Nari ordered. "All ships report status." As damage reports came in, Dr. Park entered the bridge, his face excited. "Captain, we've established basic communication with the aliens we rescued," he said. "Their language structure is fascinatingly complex, but we've managed to create a simple translation matrix." "Put them on screen," Nari ordered. The main view screen changed to show the interior of one of the rescued alien ships. The creature that appeared made several bridge officers gasp quietly. It had a body covered in iridescent skin that shifted colors as it moved. 6 limbs, 4 arms, and 2 legs, moved with fluid grace. Its face had no nose but featured large compound eyes and a small mouth. The alien seemed to be looking directly at Neri. Its skin changed to a deep blue color. "We are receiving a transmission," the communications officer said, "feeding it through the translation program now." Text appeared below the alien's image. "You came," you answered. "We had lost hope." Neri stood up and faced the screen. "I am Captain Nari Choi of the Earth vessel Retribution. We received your distress signal and came to help." After a moment for translation, the alien's skin rippled with bands of golden light. The translator displayed its response. "We called into the darkness for generations. We never expected the darkness to answer with fire and salvation." The alien's limbs moved in a complex pattern that seemed respectful. "I am Guide Luminous Current, last commander of the Luminar fleet. My people have been fighting the Crystal Collective for 50 years. We are losing. We sent messages to every part of space, hoping someone would hear us." "We heard you," Nari said simply. "And we came." "Your weapons." The alien's text read. "They hurt the collective. Nothing has hurt them like this before." "How?" Admiral Kim stepped forward. "Sometimes fresh eyes see weaknesses that others miss. We've had our own wars. We've learned our own lessons." The alien's skin turned a deep purple. "My homeworld is gone. Billions of my people are dead. The ships you see are all that remain of our civilization." The bridge fell silent. Dr. Park wiped a tear from his eye. "You are welcome to come with us," Nari said finally. "Earth has room. We can help you rebuild." The alien's color lightened slightly. "There are others of my kind hiding in nearby systems. If you would help us contact them." "We will," Nari promised. "This is just the beginning." In the vast reaches of space, humanity had transformed from a species of explorers to defenders of the galaxy. 1 month after their crucial encounter, Admiral Teo and Captain Neri stood before the United Earth Defense Council with a Luminar envoy named Horizon. The Luminar were an ancient race of philosophers and builders who had been attacked by the aggressive crystalline collective. These invaders had already occupied 27 star systems belonging to the Luminar. Captain Neri explained that while the collective had advanced technology, their battle strategies were predictable and could be defeated with the right resources. Horizon, with its shimmering translucent skin, shared a deep history. For 10,000 years, the Luminar had created beautiful structures across the stars, but never developed powerful weapons. The collective, emerging from the galactic core, had been consuming everything in their path. Humanity was the first species to successfully fight back against these invaders. Admiral Tejo proposed a defensive alliance that would benefit both species. The Luminar possessed incredible technologies in biotechnology and sustainable energy, while humans had become experts in warfare. The Council quickly voted unanimously to form the Earth-Luminar Defensive Pact. The spacecraft Retribution received new orders: lead a task force into collective territory and begin pushing them back to the galactic core. As preparations began for humanity's first planned interstellar war, Horizon approached Nari privately. "When we sent our signal long ago, we hoped for compassion," Horizon said. "We never expected to receive warriors." Nari's response was calm but powerful. "We've become what the universe required of us, but we fight hardest for those we choose to protect." What started as a desperate signal across space had now become a powerful alliance that would change the galaxy forever. Humanity, once afraid of the stars, was now their protectors. The predators would learn to fear those who defended the innocent.